Hello and welcome. We're working with some sun salutations today, some prep and some full body movements. Even though this is a fairly quick 20-minute video, I always think it's important to start with some breath to check in with what your body's doing, how you're feeling, maybe set an intention. So find a comfortable seated position. I usually recommend at least a little bit of height under the hips in the form of a blanket or a pillow. Finding that sense of lift, perching on your sits bones, allowing pubic bone to tilt forward, tailbone to lift. Low ribs draw the heart back over the hips and throat draws head over the heart. Allow the eyes to close and take a few moments to tune into the breath. Feel how air moves in and out through the nostrils. Giving time for the mind and energy to fully arrive in this present moment. So that our practice can work all elements, all parts of ourselves. Letting go any worries about time, any distractions. Give yourself permission to be here fully. To notice your body. And to give some care to yourself. If you have your own intention, feel free to define it quietly to yourself now. When you're ready, we'll gently open the eyes. Nice. Let's transition immediately to hands and knees, tabletop pose. Depending on what surface you're on, you might want a blanket under the knees, some extra support. I'm always a big fan of that. Letting these rest directly under hip sockets, little space between the legs. Hands wider than the chest and slightly forward of the shoulders. Upper arms wrap out and around so they snug elbow points back. And we're going to use the whole body as we warm up with some cow cats. Pull back with the arms, pull forward with the knees, draw heart down, tailbone up, find that happy cow. We're elongating the whole time. As you exhale, root through knuckles of the palms, spaciousness behind the heart, round the spine as crown of head drops. And we'll repeat. Inhale, happy cow. Heart pulls forward, tailbone up, arms draw back. Exhale, stretchy cat. Round the spine, tuck the pelvis, feel the belly reach towards the sky. Twice more, use the earth underneath you to find not only movement in the back body, but in the limbs, in the connection points of shoulders and hip creases, and to that mental, energetic connection of your own breath. Last round. As you exhale through stretchy cat, belly lift, hips move back towards the heels, brief child's pose, knees are still parallel. Reach arms forward a bit more, get a little stretch through the shoulder blades or through the armpits, maybe rising on fingertips and drawing back through them as if you're Spider-Man crawling on that wall. Head might be resting on the earth, might turn left, right, might be hovered. Soften the jaw. We'll transition back to a hands and knees modified tabletop. Shoulders are further forward, still behind the wrists, but hips are in front of the knees. Think of a mini cat drawing low ribs in. Shift weight forward, shoulders directly over wrists. Exhale, lower halfway, little cat bow. Our chest is still broad, our shoulder blades are broad, and we're not sagging. Lift up against the earth. Inhale, lift, straightens the arm. Exhale, brief child's pose. Keep hands placed strong. We're going to do that twice more, warming up for those chaturangas that will come. Shift over the wrists. Exhale, bend halfway or some way. Inhale, lift. Exhale, back. I want you to focus as you keep going on your own breath to having elbows stay close but not rigidly glued to the rib cage. To have the heart be aware of the shoulder blades, meaning that there's space between them. It's very easy to get caught up in the heart racing towards the ground. Try to resist that mini cat. One more time. Moving with your breath, listen for that change. As we inhale, shoulders over wrists, we exhale, bend. We'll inhale to straighten arms, tuck the toes, hips go up and back for downward facing dog. First down dog, pedal the feet briefly, maybe wag the tail. This is not about overstretching the shoulders. Ears should not go past the upper arms. Wrap shoulder blades out and around the rib cage so elbows want to point down and you have space on the back. We'll pause, lengthen from crown up to tail as if you're aiming that tailbone towards upper corner of the room. Broaden the toes, broaden the balls of feet. Press heels back as you lift hips up a little higher. Legs get long as a result. 2 gentle breaths. Good. We'll inhale, shift forward to a plank pose. Pause here. You might need to adjust the feet further back. Wrists are still slightly forward of shoulders. Tailbone is light, not squeezed. Shift weight forward. Option to drop the knees this first time or keep them lifted. Elbows stay in as we lower all the way to the earth. Heart to the ground. Keeping hands wide, untuck toes. Elbows stay close, but again, not glued, just fairly parallel. Pull back through the hands as if your crown of head slides forward. Press lightly down with the knees. Let tailbone be light. Gather ribs. Lift the heart. Cobra. Back of neck is long. Exhale, lower down. One more time. Pull with arms, heavy knees. Lift the heart. Navel is still pulling towards spine. And we lower down. Use the inhale to get the booty off the floor. Heavy knees. This will help. Exhale, use ribs and hands. Move through tabletop. Tuck the toes. Finish that exhale. Downward facing dog. Reaching back through the head. Good. Still early, so let's walk hands back towards the feet. Finding ourselves in a forward fold at the back of the mat. This could be a bent knee forward fold, a straight leg forward fold. Listen to what your body is looking for. While you're staring at those ankles, take 2 fists and check the space between them. That's your skeletal hip distance apart. Toes can be slightly turned out if that's comfortable. Broaden the balls of feet, shift weight into forefoot. Really let the low back be long, even if you look like more of a half chair than a forward fold. 2 breaths. Head lets go. Hands can turn palm up on the earth if they're there. We'll slide hands to tops of knees, no matter how straight legs are. Inhale, torso parallel to the earth, flat back. Exhale, draw low ribs in, collarbones forward. Next inhale, we bring arms out and up. We rise to standing, reach towards sky. Exhale, hands back to heart center. Quick round of breath. Interlace the fingers, roll out the wrists. Make sure that feels nice and warm. If you have a blanket on your mat, we can move it off to the side, and we'll all make our way to the top of the mat. I always teach with blocks. If you have them handy, feel free. If not, you can use a substitute or find other modifications. Coming to skeletal hip distance apart with those feet. Again, it's 2 fists sit snugly between the ankles. That's our blueprint. Facing the short end of your mat. Let weight come slightly back in the heels so hips are over ankles. Let tailbone be free and easy, no tucking. Low ribs pull in to support the spine. Hands come down by the sides. Crown of head reaches tall. Take a deep breath here. Imagine drawing from feet to crown of head. Then let's inhale, sweep arms out to the side and up. Exhale to forward fold. Hinge from hip creases. Legs can bend slightly. Do not lock the knees. Half lift, hands on blocks or tops of knees. Exhale to fold. Keep the weight in the balls of feet. Right foot steps back, runner's lunge. Hands come with you under shoulders with blocks or not. Back thighs lifted, front heels heavy, front knees right over the ankle, and we're lengthening through crown of head. If you're on the earth, that might be a little more collarbone action than if you're on those blocks. 2 gentle breaths, maybe turning head left, right. And then planting the right hand on block or earth, take a left hand to your heart. We'll gently use our exhale to turn heart towards that front knee. Back hip stays lifted. Inhale, heart faces the earth. One more time, gentle rotation, turn. This time we hold. Option to unfurl the left arm, reaching out from the collarbone. Definitely check in with the front leg. Make sure it's still pressing through the heel. Exhale, heart and hand come back down. If you've got those blocks, they move out of the way, hands to the earth. Lift heart like a stretchy cat, step front foot back, find that plank pose, adjust the hips. Always the option to drop the knees or not as we shift forward. Exhale to lower down, chaturanga. We're still taking this first round slow. Heavy knees, untucked toes. Pull back through hands, lift up for cobra. Exhale, lower. We'll do that once more, heavy knees. Inhale, cobra. We're pulling, not pressing. Use the back muscles. Exhale, lower. Inhale to press through knees, get booty off the ground. Exhale to press heart up, tuck toes down, dog, starting to speed things up just a little bit, finding our rhythm. Feeling free to walk out your dog briefly, shake head side to side, upper arms are wrapped, and we're rooting through the pads of the, where the fingers meet the palms rather than the base of the wrist. One good breath. And then we'll inhale, right leg up behind us, 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to chest, heart shifts forward, lift it like a cat and step through the lunge. Feel free to inch the foot forward or drop a knee to get yourself into that shape. Optional blocks under the hands. Again, heavy front heel, knee directly over, back thigh lifts. Lengthen through the crown of head, collarbones, think of broadening forward. Pause, breathe. Left hand finds purchase either on the block or on the earth. I'll model the earth version this time. Right hand comes to the heart center. First exhale is a little tryout. We're moving through heart spine as we turn towards front knee. Inhale, face the earth again. Exhale, second time is the full twist. It does not have to be deep for it to be effective. Option to unfurl that right arm, reaching out from collarbone. We say right arm to the sky, but the sky is a big place. Anywhere over the horizon totally counts. One more breath. Next exhale, hands come down to the mat. Stepping forward to a half lift using blocks or hands on thighs. Ardha Uttanasana, exhale, fold. Skeletal hip distance apart of the feet. Once more, half lift, Ardha. Exhale, fold. We'll step left foot back again, finding runner's lunge once more, optional blocks. Heavy front heel, buoyant back thigh. This time, let's hover hands by the heart. We're gonna hold for 3 breaths. Option A stays here. Option B might have palms back. Option C has arms up by the ears for a little extra challenge. Think of breathing behind the heart. Think of using those legs. Trust that front foot. Next, exhale, hands all the way to the mat. Blocks are out of the way. Lift the heart, step it back, top of a push-up. Third round of vinyasa, shift forward. Optional drop knees as you lower. This time we're doing more like one breath. Peel up for cobra. Tailbone is light. Exhale as you lower, lift, tuck, find down dog. Smooth motion if you can. Try to avoid having the heart peel up first and the hips peel up second. Use down dog as a resting pose. You can also come to child if you need more of a break. Holding for 2 breaths. This time left foot inhales up behind, 3-legged dog. Knee to chest, shift forward, lift heart, step it through, runner's lunge. Optional blocks. Still on train tracks, make sure your feet haven't ended up on a balance beam. Heavy front heel, buoyant back thigh. Again, option to hover hands at heart center, letting the thigh be just below the belly, or rather belly pulls up over thigh. Hands can stay at heart, be down by sides, or up by the ears. Choose the variation that works for you. 2 more breaths. Feel how the front knee wants to move forward, but the back hip keeps it from going past the ankle. Next exhale, hands come down to blocks or earth. We'll float back foot forward, half lift, hands on blocks or thighs. Exhale to fold, Uttanasana. Check that skeletal hip distance apart, half lift, hands on blocks or thighs. Exhale, stay, ribs in, collarbones long. Inhale, bend knees slightly, sweep to standing, press through heels, arms come high. Meet back at heart center. 1 round of breath. Let's do 1 more round, trying 1 breath per movement. We're gonna take out the lunge, add in an extra chaturanga. Get excited. Long crown, strong ribs. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale to forward fold, weights in the balls of the feet. Hands on knees or blocks, half lift. Exhale to fold, Uttanasana. Both hands plant, both feet step back, top of a push-up. Exhale to lower down, option to drop knees. Inhale for your cobra, we're keeping it low, heavy knees. Exhale, try to lift up and back into downward facing dog. 1 move, may or may not happen. 2 breaths. Upper arms wrap out and around. Keeping left leg nice and stable, let's float right leg up behind us, 3-legged dog. Listen for this change. Feel the rooting of the inner edge of big toe mound on the left foot. Keep that rooted as we bend right knee, peel open hips like a dog at a fire hydrant. Keep right shoulder down, don't turn the heart. Heart still faces the mat. 2 breaths as we're still reaching back through left heel and thigh. Next inhale, we take legs straight, long behind us. Exhale, right foot to the mat. Pedal it out. Pause. Knees are steady, shoulders are broad. Left foot lifts up behind. Remember, it's that right foot that's going to do a lot of the work. Root through big toe mound as we bend left knee, peel open hips, other side. Left shoulder stays towards the earth. Option to look under right shoulder to help you stay square. Not required. 2 breaths here. Next inhale, leg extends behind us. Exhale, foot down to the mat. We're gonna shift into our plank pose again, final round. Exhale to lower. Option for up dog if you'd like to. Keep hips high, otherwise cobra. Don't be afraid to bend the knees to transition back to down dog wherever you are. Next inhale, we'll glance behind, between the hands, soften knees, step, walk, or hop your way to that half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale to fold. Once more, Ardha Uttanasana, inhale. Stay put as we gather low ribs, lengthen collarbones. Inhale to standing, use the legs, don't thrust your hips, they stay right over ankles. Meet back at heart center. 1 round of breath. Nice work. We're gonna come down through what I call a pop squat. If you have knee issues, go ahead and transition to seated in your own way. Otherwise, we're going to find that inhale out and up. Exhale, forward fold. Bring your hands onto the earth or blocks, even if it means bending the knees for a half-ish lift. So I'm gonna model on the earth. We're all gonna shift weight further into balls of feet, bend the knees, lifting them towards the belly, and then drop the hips, pop squat. We're on the balls of our feet, hover gently. Good, stay facing that short end of mat, lengthen through crown, broaden, think of heels reaching back, even though the balls of feet are keeping the arches high. 1 more breath, optional balance if you want to take hands to heart center. And then with some support on the earth, transition to your seat, however works for you. We'll take both legs out in front. Again, if you have that height for under the hips, great time to transition on it. Feet still have a little space. Heels root down, balls of feet root forward. Let's start with hands behind the hips, lifting the heart, supporting that long spine, and keeping our throat back so we don't try to win by nose. Start to hinge forward from hip creases. Hands are staying long behind us to help keep the torso long and not rounded. Once you've gone as deep as you like, option to keep hands back, option to transition them lightly onto the legs. Collarbones are still reaching forward. We'll hold for 2 breaths. Hands come outside the legs, help to walk you tall. Help the knees to close, bring soles of feet together, knees apart for that butterfly or Baddha Konasana. Same deal with the spine. We're trying to keep it nice and long. Feet can be as far away from the pelvis as needed for that low back to be happy. One more inhale. Exhale to hinge. Hands might be behind the thighs. They might be on ankles or around the toes. They might reach beyond the feet. Allow the throat to support the base of skull. Gaze is soft. Check in with breath. Check in with that mental space. Use outer edge of feet to press down in the earth. Low ribs pull you up as we come back to seated. Hands help knees to close. Shift off any props, come down onto the back in a way that works for you. Starting with soles of feet on the mat, knees gently bent. Adjust the arms to be comfortable, and then feel free to waggle the tail against the earth briefly. We'll all hug knees into chest, maybe a rock side to side or up and down. Very good. Transition to happy baby, knees wide towards armpits, soles of feet towards sky. You can hold on to backs of thighs, shins, or outer edges of feet. Take 2 breaths to take any shapes. That might be straightening legs or adjusting. It might be something I haven't offered. And then we'll come to a very brief Shavasana. Lying on your back, palms up, is our traditional pose. If you'd like to slide something under the knees for extra support, that can be lovely. And as you stay put on the floor, I'm going to give you 1 full minute of silence. If there's an opportunity to pause this video and stay longer, by all means, feel free. But for now, allow the body to be heavy. Allow the breathing to be free and easy. Allow the eyes to close. Rest deeply here in your Shavasana. If you choose to stay put in Shavasana and rest a little while longer, allow my voice to wash over you. No need to respond. If you're ready to complete, invite gentle movement into fingers and toes, into ankles, wrists, and neck. You might stretch arms overhead or draw knees to the chest as you reawaken the body. Moving mindfully, make your way up to a comfortable seated position, finding again a long spine, settling head over heart, heart over hips. Taking hands together at heart center, check in with the breath, check in with the body, check in with the mind. Thank you for allowing me to hold the seat of the teacher. Om Shanti Shanti, peace be with you, and namaste.